or look closely, you may spot something else in the decorations.
Parrots!
Parrots, yes.
Parrots.
They're parrots. Sari and Shuka. Yeah.
Jai.
Sari and Shuka are there having conversations while the class is going on. Yesterday, Amarendra Prabhu, when you were sharing about them, I was thinking about how they were tweeting before Twitter existed. They were actually engaging in tweeting feuds before Twitter existed, which is so beautiful. So, and I was also going to share something this morning. I don't know if any, and I think I'm looking at the Matajis because I think Matajis can relate to this more. When I was deciding what sari to wear today, I was looking at my saris and I was thinking, the red is like the beak of the parrot and the gunja berry. The green is like the combination. And I was thinking I'm so grateful to Amarendra Prabhu because he now has spiritualized one chore, which I really don't think about so much. So if I'm taking Rupsagar, if I'm taking longer to get ready, it's because I'm meditating on what Amarendra Prabhu said about different colors that can help us relate to Krishna. So, but I think it's a great meditation, particularly since Holi just passed, to think of these colors and with respect to Radha and Krishna, which is very beautiful. So thank you for that, Amarendra Prabhu. Another final announcement. One of the things at our temple, we have a lot of children and we want to make sure that coming to the temple is a special experience for them also. So today we have the live telecast of this class taking place in the temple hall as well. So for parents with young children or anyone who would like to take a break and go to the temple hall, please feel free to do so. That will just allow everyone to be in a setting that is conducive for them to be able to appreciate the class and get more deeper into this Kunj Bihari Ashtakam. As a child who is like a parrot, likes to talk, I'm very excited about this today. So with that, let's give a huge round of applause to welcome Amarendra Prabhu for day 3 of the seminar.
Hare Krishna. So let us get started with our Kunj Bihari Ashtakam. I have been asked to sing this Ashtakam today in the Vrindavana Ramyasthana melody. So I'll try my bit. The way it goes is, this is composed in a Sanskrit metrical composition, a chanda called as Swagata. And the way it is sung is 4 syllables, 2 syllables, 3 syllables, 2 syllables. 4, 2, 3, 2. So like for example, Indra Neela is 4 syllables, Indra Neela, and then you pause. And Mani is 2, right? And then Manjula is 3 more syllables, and then Varana is 2 more syllables. So 4, 2, 3, 2 is how the composition takes place in Swagata, the singing. So you can see again, Pulla Nipa is 4, Kusu is 2, Mancheta is 3, and then Karana. So you sing it like that. Let's go. It's composed in Rupak Tal 7 beat, which Indra Neela Mani Manjula Varna Pulla Nipa Kusu Mancheta Karna Indra Neela Manjula Varna Pulla Nipa Kusu Indra Neela Mani Manjula Varna Pulla Nipa Kusu Mancheta Karna Indra Neela Krishna labhir akrishora sihare सुन्दरो जयति कुञ्जविहारी कृष्णलाभिर् अकृशोरसिहारी सुन्दरो. Now, since we know the melody, we'll all sing it together. Ready? Straight from the first verse. Ready? Let's go. Indra Neela Mani Manjula Varna Phulla Nipa Kusu Manchita Karna Krishna Labhir Akrishora Sihare Sundaro Jayati Kunja Bihari. Thank you. Radhikava Dana Chandra Chakora Sarva Vallava Vadhudre Tichora Chacharicha Toratanchita Chare Charuto Jayati Kunja Vihari. Sarvatha Pratitha Kolika Parva Dhvamsanena Rita Vasavagarva Goshtaraksha Nakrite Giridhare Leelaya Jayati Kunja Vihari. Ragamanda Lavibhushitavam Shivi Brahmena Madanotsavashamsi Stuyamana Charita Shukasari Shreni Vijayati Kunja Bihari. Shata Kumbha Ruchihari Dukula Keki Chandra Kavirajita Chula Navyayova Nala Sadbrajanare Ranjano Jayati Kunja Vihari. Sthasaki krita sugandhi patira swarna kanchi parishobhe katira radhikona tapayodharvare kunjaro jayati kunja vihari. Gauradhatu tilako jvala bhala keli chanchalita champakamala adrikanda ragriheshvabhisari subruvam jayati kunja bihari. Vibhramocha ladreganchala nritya kshipta gopa lala nakhela kritya प्रेममता वृषभानो कुमारी नागरो जयति कुञ्ज विहारी नागरो जयति अष्टकं मधुरकुञ्जविहारे क्रीडया पठति यकेलहारी सप्रयाति विलसत्परभागं तस्य पाद कमलार्चनरागम् सुन्दरो जयते कुञ्जविहारी सुन्दरो जयति कुञ्जविहारी Shri Radha Kunj Vihari ki. Thank you to the Mataji who told me to sing it like that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome back to this beautiful, wonderful composition of Srila Rupa Goswami. On day one, we discussed the complexion of Krishna, which we concluded is green when he is with Srimati Radharani. And then yesterday we discussed Kadamba flowers, forest flowers, garlands, sports, pastimes, gunja berries, and the position of parrots. Stuyamana, Charita, Shukasari. Shuka and Sari are constantly Stuyamana, glorifying whose Charitra, the activities of Radha and Krishna. Devotees yesterday after the class told me that we wish this discussion on parrots never ended. So, for the pleasure of Vaishnavas, we will speak a little bit more on parrots. When we look through the scriptures that our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas have blessed us with, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, and what to speak of the 6 Goswamis headed by Rupa Goswami. Is there some reverberation on the mic? Is it clear for devotees at the back? Yeah, I feel there is some echoing. Prabhu's ready to dance? No, you were ecstatically leading the dance yesterday. Doesn't everyone agree to that? Prabhuji is always enthusiastically dancing. We'll talk about dancing today, by the way. Did I spill my beans? The six Goswamis have spoken so much about Radha and Krishna. It is like a treasure box. It's like a gold mine. When you read about them, you hear about them. It's so beautiful. It's more colorful than this world can ever be. So regarding parrots and the role of the birds in Vrindavan, so much has been spoken. These parrots of Radha and Krishna, they take many services under their fold. Let's say under their wings. Parrots have wings. One service that the parrots do is read out letters. The divine couple can just sit and the parrot will read the message. So Siri is not a new thing. Parrots do that in Goloka Vrindavan. They read letters from Radha to Krishna and from Krishna to Srimati Radhika. And not just that, they can mimic the voice of Krishna. They can mimic the flute sound of Krishna in all its octaves. They can mimic the voice of different Sakhis from different camps. So that really helps the parrots of Srimati Radharani to give false alarms to Chandravali. By trying to speak, just like when we hear in the Ramayana that the golden deer Marich screamed out in the voice of Sri Ram. So there must be Krishna Leela version to this, where animals can scream out the voice of the divine couple. Right? But not in a demoniac way to separate them, but in a divine way to unite them. Marich did that to separate Sita from Ram. But the parrots do to bring Radha and Krishna together. They can mimic the voice of Krishna, they can mimic the voice of the gopis, they can sing in the octaves of the flute. They can read out messages. Not just that, the parrots are also skilled in cutting jokes. If they find Radharani completely devastated in separation, or sad, or angry with Krishna, the parrots of Krishna fly to Srimati Radharani and hide in different branches. And from Krishna's side, they cut jokes just to make her laugh. Because Krishna wants to do it, but Radharani says, I don't want to see you. Out. Jahi Madhava Yahi Keshava Ma Kuru Kaitava Bhasham. Don't speak false words to me. Go away. So when Krishna has to leave, there has to be someone who can fly in on Krishna's behalf. And those are the parrots. They can cut jokes. They can say stories. They can even announce the Rasalila announcements. It is described the parrots go and hear from Brinda Devi and Purnamasi what's the plan for the day. And they make announcements to all the Sakhis, headed by Lalita and Vishakha, that today the Rasalila is going to be at Dhir Samir. Today the Rasalila is going to be on the banks of the Jamuna. And there is a specific dress code for it. All the Sakhis have to come in the same outfit. And today the dance is going to be based on this rag and this tal. That's announced. So everyone who wants to sing in the Rasalila must sing in the same rag and learn the dance form. That's the theme for the night. Every Rasalila will have a different dance form theme. And all the Sakhis, including Radharani and Shri Krishna, have to dance according to the theme of the dance in the Rasalila. And they all are based on different beats, different tal. There are some which are in Adi tal. There are some which are in Rupak tal. There are some which are in Dadra tal. There are some in Bhajni tal. There are some in Teen tal. There are different beat cycles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is called Rupak. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. That's Dadra tal. But dha din din dha din din dha tin tin ta ta din din dha din din dha. That's the 16 beat Teen tal cycle. So in this way, different beat cycles are there, different ragas, different dress codes, different meeting places, different songs. Also, the parrots announce what fragrance of flowers should dominate the kunj, so that all arrangements can be made. Like, for example, if the whole place is going to be decorated, let's say, with pink flowers, you have to wear dress in such a way that it doesn't camouflage, right, in that background. So the Sakhis, the Gopis, the maidservants, Radharani, Sri Krishna, everyone is given a dance theme, beat cycle of the dance, raga of the song, meeting place, fragrance that they all should have. Because in this world, people have different perfume fragrance and they have to put it and they still stink. But Radha and Krishna and the Sakhis, they plan depending on different dance forms and different Rasalilas, that the fragrance should be dominated by different types of flowers. Like in one Rasalila, the fragrance is dominated by lotus flowers. And in one, it's the Mallika, jasmine flower. And depending on, is it autumn season, or is it spring season, or is it monsoon season, or is it the summer season, the fruits and the flowers and the dress code is picked accordingly. Because you have to know the weather before you know what you wear. If it's colder, the dress is accordingly. And if it's hot, the dress of the Sakhis are different. So who gives all this communication? There is no WhatsApp, there's no Instagram, there's no Facebook. It's parrots. How sweet. They do this service. And when the parrots fly in the sky, it's described, they flap their wings and make a call, which is very melodious to the Sakhis. Why? Because that is their sign and signal that you leave home and run to the forest and never return. Just like we get reminders, we have alarms. Actually, by the way, that reminds me. The parrots also act as alarm clocks. They wake the divine couple. When Radha and Krishna perform their sweet pastimes and they have to be woken at 3:36 in the morning, the parrots do the chirping and they wake them up. Even in the afternoon, when Radha and Krishna are having different games, they have the dice game, they have the gambling game, they have the honey game where they're drinking honey and having sweet, beautiful discussions and sometimes debates. But by then it's getting late because Krishna has to now take care of his cows who are stranded. So he has to leave Radha Kund and go to meet the cows and calves. Who gives Krishna a signal that now he has to move on his schedule for the day and not be in Radha Kund all his life? Parrots. So they schedule, they read the schedule, they wake them up, they do everything. And when the parrots chirp in the sky, it's described, the gopis run from all corners into the forest of Vrindavan, hearing the flute sound of Krishna. How beautiful. And the parrots do the service. What do the parrots do, by the way? Listen to this. The parrots loudly sing Krishna's glory and they liberate the gopis who are caught in the cage of household life. Why? Because it takes a free bird to liberate another. So the free bird parrot, which has freed itself from the cage of material bondage, can fly in the free sky of Vrindavan, chirp loudly the glories of Krishna, and free the gopis who are stuck in the cages of material bondage. Not material bondage, but poetically, yes. One very great Brajbasi saint, sadhu, he writes, all glories to Shukadev Goswami. All glories. Why? He is like Radha's parrot, who came in this world flapping his beak, loudly singing Krishna's glories in the Bhagavatam, and freeing the gopi-like conditioned souls who are stuck in the cage of this world. Did you see parrots in Vrindavan? They chirp the glories of Krishna and they free the gopis to meet him. So similarly, Shukadev Goswami is like a parrot, loudly singing the message of Krishna on the Vyasasan and freeing the conditioned souls, all of us, who are stuck in household life from the cage of repeated birth and death. How sweet. These are the parrots of Vrindavan. Therefore, you can see the parrots are called as Dvijamani. Dvijamani. Dvijamani means best among Brahmanas. You can see when Rukmini and Sri Krishna were apart, who was the one bringing the messages between the two? A Brahmana. Brahmana is called Dvijamani, best among Brahmanas. Rukmini writes a letter, and a Dvijamani, a Brahmana, takes it to Krishna as the intermediate between the two. So if a Dvijamani can bring Rukmini and Krishna together, why can't a Dvijamani, best among Brahmanas, bring Radha and Krishna together? Now you may say, where is the Brahmana in Radha Krishna Leela? Here is the pun, because the word Dvija also means birds. Dvija means twice born, and you can see the birds are born as eggs and then they hatch out of eggs, so they're twice born. They have two births, first as an egg and then out of the egg. So the parrots of Vrindavan are like Dvijamanis. They are like the best among Brahmanas, going between not Rukmini but Radha and Krishna with the letters of love. So when a Brajbasi hears the story of Rukmini writing a letter to Krishna and a Brahmana taking them back and forth, in his heart the Brajbasi doesn't see Rukmini, he sees Radharani. And he doesn't see the Brahmana, he sees a parrot. And he sees that if Krishna can overnight come on his chariot with Daruka for Rukmini, why won't he come overnight for Srimati Radharani? Right? So how beautiful. In the discussion of parrots, you can see so much ecstasy and so much nectar for the glories of Vrindavan. Therefore, you can see straight in the third verse of the first canto, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. It's a very famous verse, so let's sing one after another. Let's call and respond. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam. Shukha mukadamritadrava samyutam. Pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. This verse says that Srimad Bhagavatam is a mango fruit, already very sweet. But when the red beak of the parrot of Shukadev Goswami touches the nectar fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, the taste goes multiple times higher. Now this has many layers of meanings. In this world, you can see the parrot, when its red beak touches a mango fruit, the mango fruit, which is already sweet, gets sweeter by the saliva in the beak of a normal parrot. And then what to speak of Shukadev, whose name itself is Shuka. He's like a parrot. And Srimad Bhagavatam is already a mango. But what kind of mango? No cover on the top and no seed within. Because the mango in this world, you see, you have to take only the pulp and you leave the skin and the seed behind. But Srimad Bhagavatam has no seed and no cover, external skin that you need to throw out. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam is mango pulp, full of juicy galitam phalam. And especially when the red beak, red means love, love is springing out of the mouth and the heart of this green parrot. Why green? Because Radha and Krishna together are living in the heart of Shukadev Goswami, and when they live together, the whole body turns green. You see, Srimad Bhagavatam has so many meanings. Shukha Mukhad. Why is Shukadev called like a parrot? Because the parrot is green. And Shukadev Goswami's complexion is not green, but from the first discussion, we know when Radha and Krishna are together, the whole complexion becomes green. So thinking of them, he's like a green parrot. And his beak is red because he's speaking, red means affection, he's speaking Krishna Katha with a lot of affection. And with this, with the saliva of his bhav, when he speaks the mango fruit or tastes the mango fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam, Amrita Drava Samyutam. It becomes so much more sweeter. I remember once when I went to New Vrindavan, we had the good fortune of having darshan of Varshana Maharaj. Have you heard of Varshana Maharaj in New Vrindavan? Yes, lives on the top near Kundeshwar Mahadev. Varshana Maharaj is such a great sadhu who's blessing everybody by his living presence in New Vrindavan. He's been a sannyasi, kshetra sannyasi, living only in New Vrindavan for so many decades now. He's actually even written a book, How New Vrindavan is non-different from Sri Vrindavan. With all the places in New Vrindavan and the magnificent correlation of these places with Sri Vrindavan Dham. Actually, Srila Prabhupada said Sri Vrindavan Dham as New Vrindavan, but it was Barsana Maharaj who envisioned making 7 temples there of the Goswamis. And he personally will sit with tractor and he will do all the manual work himself. So the devotees said, if you want to make the 7 temples in New Vrindavan, why not we just outsource this to someone? We just pay them and they will do it. He said, no. Vrindavan was built by Brajbasis. He said, I don't want to outsource this and give it to people who will just do it as work. I want to do this myself. And if devotees who have affection for Vrindavan come, then we can build. Otherwise, however long it takes, that's fine. So when we had darshan of Varshana Maharaj, while we were leaving, he gave us a golden opportunity to go into his place of bhajan, where he lives. And he has a deity of Brinda Devi with a parrot in her hand, 4-finger parrot. Huh? What's the name of Brinda Devi's parrot? Daksha. What is the name of Krishna's parrot? Vichakshana. And Shuka sings the glories of Krishna for the pleasure of Radha. And Sharika sings the glories of Radha for the pleasure of Krishna. So he has a deity of Brinda Devi with Daksha, the parrot, on her 4-finger. And he said, Brinda Devi is my Ishtadev. I just worship, or Devi, Ishtadevi. I just worship her and I beg for entrance into Vrindavan. While we were leaving, he said, next time if you all are coming here, please let me know. And if I could do anything for you, please send a parrot. And it took some time for us to understand, send a parrot meant send a message. If I could be of any service, he said, to any of you, just send a parrot. And I found that to be so beautiful. I haven't forgotten this. That he's not just living there, he's living with so much mood. His heart is completely drenched with Brajras. For someone to say that in conversation, when was the last time you heard someone say like that? Send a message. We have said this message word so many times. Let me know. Give me a call. Send a text. Send me an email. We use all this. But send a parrot? Something that we can use. When we have to tell someone, let me know when you're coming home. You say, when you're ready, just send a parrot. I'll pick you up. That reminds us as a floodgate to remember Radha and Krishna. It opens up the floodgate to so much ecstasy. So, Stuya Mana Charita Shukasari Shreni Bhir Jayati Kunja Bihari. Actually, this Kunja Bihari Ashtakam, you can see, has supreme glorification of Srimati Radharani throughout so many verses. So I'm going to go from verse 1. You tell me how many verses you find the mention of Radha. Do you see something in verse 1? Kadamba is Radharani. Gunja is Radharani. Verse 2, Radhika, the name is there. And then Sarva Ballava Vadhu Dhriti Chaura, he who steals the composure of the gopis. And gopis means headed by Sri Radha. Skillfully clapping his hands in a rhythm, he dances, but he doesn't dance alone. So it is with Srimati Radharani. So he stopped, in verse 3 you can see, Govardhan Leela. He stopped his relatives from performing the sacrifice, removed Indra's pride, and protected the people of Vrindavan by holding Giriraj. At the end of Giriraj Govardhan Leela, people asked Krishna, the Brajbasis, Arey Lala, itni shakti kahan se aayi tujh mein? How did you get so much strength? You can't even lift a notebook. How can you now float up Giriraj? So Krishna said in the language of the Brajbasis, Kuch makhan ko bal badyo. I got little bal, little strength from all the butter that I stole from your homes. Kuch gopan kare sahai. And I got little help from my friends who held sticks. But still, for me to lift with my left hand, left is where the heart is, and heart is where Radha is. Radharani is in the heart, and everything that Krishna does with his right hand, it's described, his avatars are doing it. And anything that is doing with his left hand, Radharani is doing it, because it's coming from the heart. So, kuch makhan ko bal badyo. I got little strength from the butter that I stole. Kuch gopan kare sahay. And little assistance I got with the sticks that the gopas held. Shri Radhe Ju ki kripa se maine Girivar Lal uthaye. But it was actually Srimati Radharani's mercy and help that I could lift Giriraj Govardhan. And we'll talk more about it in the Sunday feast tomorrow, because that's going to be completely driven on the third verse of this Ashtakam on Govardhan Leela in details. Fourth verse, do you see Radharani anywhere? By decorating his flute with many melodies, he glorifies the festival of his transcendental love. Now you may think, there is no Radharani here. Or do you think there is Radharani here? He's playing the flute for whom? There's a very beautiful song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur where the glorification of Srimati Radharani is given. And we're going to sing that now. But I just want to count how many verses you see where Krishna is connected with Radharani. So we saw 3 verses out of 3. In the 4th, you see Krishna is playing the flute, and that's for Radharani. He is glorified by the parrots, Shuka and Sari, parrots of Radharani. Verse 5, you see his garments are the silken garments, they eclipse the glory of gold. But the dhoti is golden for the reason that it reminds him of Srimati Radharani. Then there's a peacock feather on the top. But that's only there till the time he's there. Yesterday we saw when Radharani comes, the peacock feather turns towards her. So there also you can see Srimati Radharani. Then in verse 6, you can see Radhikon Nata Payodharavari Kunjaro Jayati Kunja Bihari. That Krishna is an elephant bound by the rope of Sri Radha's pure love. Then in verse 7, you can see he meets Sri Radha in the beautiful, wonderful forests, caves and valleys and waterfalls of Govardhan. And in verse 8, he who's the charming lover of Vrishabhanu's daughter, who's madly in love with him. So what do you think? Is this Kunja Bihari Ashtakam? No, this is Radha Kunja Bihari Ashtakam. So therefore, in this session now, starting now, I'm going to take this theme of the glories of Srimati Radharani. And for the next 1 hour, we will discuss the glorious presence of Srimati Radharani in Krishna's life. Is that okay? That will cover nectar of Radha Tattva throughout the 8 verses. So before that, we will sing a very beautiful song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Let me see if we can pull it up here. Just give me a minute. I may not have the internet connection to pull it up here, but is there a way we can pull it up directly? Yeah? I may not have the internet connection here. I'll say the name. We can do it from here? Yeah, we can. Sure. You can do the password. So there's a very beautiful, I'll just give you an introduction. There's a very beautiful song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur which describes the position of Radharani in Krishna's life. We will just give me a minute. Okay, here you go. All right, it's ready. Let's go. The other way. There you go. So, can we all see the screen? So, I will explain each stanza real quick. It's very, very beautiful. It's a nice descriptive song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and that covers the theme of Radharani's glory. It's very beautiful. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Braja vipine yamuna kule mancha manohara shobhita phule. What does this mean? Braja vipine, in the forest of Vrindavan. So I want all of you in the forest of your heart to meditate on what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking. Braja vipine, in the forest of Vrindavan, Jamuna kule, which is on the banks of the Jamuna, mancha manohara shobhita phule. There's a very beautiful platform made like this, a nice stage. Shobhita phule, made out of flowers in Vrindavan. You can all see there's flowing Jamuna, and on the banks of the Jamuna there's a beautiful, beautiful Braja Vipin, forest of Vrindavan. And then there in the middle there's a nice raised, elevated stage or a platform, and Shobhita phule, made out of flowers. And at the same time, Vanaspati lata tushaye akhi. There are many trees and creepers and forest golden vines, tushaye akhi, which please the eyes of the Brajbasis. So, are your eyes satisfied looking at all this? Looking at all the golden creepers in your heart? The nice flowering trees? The nice fruits of Braja in the dense, thick, canopy-filled forests of Vrindavan on the banks of Jamuna? Who is sitting on the banks, on the branches of these trees? Tad upari koto dakaye pakhi. Pakhi means pakshi. Many birds are tweet, 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 chirping and making beautiful sounds on the branches of the trees of this forest. Let's sing these two stanzas, then we will see what else Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. Let's sing. Bharaja vipine jamuna kule mancha manohara shobhita phule. Bharaja vipine jamuna kule mancha manohara shobhita phule. Bharaja vipine jamuna kule mancha manohara shobhita phule. Bharaja vipine mancha manohara. Now beautiful creepers with birds on the branches of the trees. Vanaspati lata tushaye akhi. Vanaspati lata tushaye akhi. Tadupari koto dake pakhi. Tadupari koto dake pakhi. Braja vipine jamuna kule mancha manohara shobhita phule. Bharaja vipine. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Malaya anila vah hai dheere. Dheere matlab dheere se. What is blowing? Anil, breeze. Malaya anila vah hai dheere. The breeze of Vrindavan, fragrant, cooling, is moving very slowly. And Ali kula madhu lobaye phire. And bumblebees are humming on top of the flowers which are dripped with honey. Let's sing. मलया नील वह धीरे अलिकुल मधु लोभ फिरे मलया. Now you can see in your heart this breeze, there's beautiful flowers with honey and bumblebees, and you can also see flowering fruits and flowers and trees and creepers, and at the same time you can see the forests of Vraja with chirping birds and flowing Yamuna. What else? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Vasantir rakha udupatada kaumudi bhitare adare sada. The moon is rising. Which moon? Spring moon. Full moon in the spring season. And Kaumudi, the blue lotuses at night have opened up completely. This is the start of the Rasa Leela. So as the moon is getting fuller, the blue lotuses are opening further. Is everyone seeing in your heart? Beautiful happenings of the descriptions of Vraja? Let's sing. Vasantir rakha udupatada kaumudi bhitare adare sada. Kaumudi bhitare E mata samaye rasikavara E mata Rasikvar Shri Krishna. What is he doing at this time? In this beautiful forest. What do you think he's doing? Arambhila ras murali adhara. By keeping the flute to his lips, Muralidhar Shri Krishna has started the dance with Srimati Radharani, the dance of divinity, Rasa Leela. Let's see. E mata samaye rasikavara E mata Arambhilo rasa muralidhara Arambhilo rasa muralidhara. Is Krishna dancing alone? How many gopis do you think are there? Shatakoti gopi majhe te hari. Did you see the beautiful details in this song? Right from the forest of Vraja to the banks of Jamuna to the beautiful stage with flowers, then the creepers which are giving pleasure to the eyes, and beautiful birds who are chirping, the breeze from the Malayan hills, and the bumblebees who are madhumatta. They are intoxicated by the honey. This was the spring season with the rising moon, and the blue lotuses at night have opened. And at this time, Ei Mata Samaye, Rasikavara, the best among Rasiks, Sri Krishna, what is he doing? Arambhilo Ras. He has begun the singing and dancing, Muralidhara, by playing the flute. But is he singing and dancing alone? What do you think? No. How many gopis are there? 1, 2, Shata Koti. Shata means, and Koti means crores, 100 crores, which means millions and millions of gopis are there. They're all dancing and spinning. How many Krishna? 1 Krishna. Now the question is, Krishna's dancing with which gopi? Shata Koti gopi majhe te hari. Radha sah nache anand kari. Radha sah nache. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying 100 crore gopis are dancing with Krishna, But who is Krishna dancing with? He's dancing only with one gopi, Vrishabhanu Nandini, Brindavana Vilasini, Kunjavasini, Kunjaviharini, Srimati Radharani ki. Radha Saha, with Radha Nache. Krishna's dancing Ananda Kori with so much joy. Shatakoti gopi माझे ते हरी राधा सह नाचे आनंद करी शतकोटी गोपी. Everyone, शतकोटी गोपी माझे ते हरी राधा सह नाचे आनंद करी शतकोटी गोपी. Madhava Mohini. Who's Madhava Mohini? Srimati Radharani. She who can even bewilder that Krishna who can bewilder Brahma. Krishna did Brahma Vimohan, but Radharani did Krishna Vimohan. Krishna Vimohan Leela ki. What is Radharani doing? Madhava Mohini. Gaya Gita. What is Madhava Mohini doing? Gaya Geet, she's singing. And when she sings, Hari lo sakala jagata chita Madhava Mohini Gaya Gita Hari lo sakala jagata chita. Sakala jagata chitta, the minds and the hearts of the whole world, Harila, she has stolen. What can Krishna steal? Butter, thank you. That's all, that's far as it can go. And then he can also steal the mind of Cupid, who steals our mind. But he still has his mind with him. But when Srimati Radharani comes, she steals even his mind. When Radharani is singing so sweetly, the whole world, the whole mind, the hearts, the cosmic hearts, they all get dizzy. And she can steal the hearts and the minds of the whole creation. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Madhava Mohini Gaya Gita Hari lo shakala jagata chita Madhava Mohini. Sthavara Jangama Mohila Sati. Radharani is called Sati. Why Sati? Krishna is dancing and so many gopis are dancing with him. But Radhika is dancing only with Krishna. She's Sati. So Sthavara Jangama Mohila Sati. When Radharani sings, those who are moving, they become non-moving. They stand like statues. And when she sings, those who stand like statues, mountains, they all melt. So the moving, like humans and deer, they all become non-moving, stunned. And non-moving, like the mountains and the trees, they all start moving. The trees start to dance. The mountain rocks melt. How sweet. And when Radharani sings, it's not only us. Even her opposite camp loses. Who's in the opposite camp? Sthavara Jangama Mohila Sati Harailo Chandra Vali Ramati Sthavara Jangama Mohila Sati Harailo Chandra Vali Ramati. Even the Mati of Chandravali, Haraila. Radharani can steal even the heart and mind of Chandravali. And she feels, I'm in the same camp. Then her Sakhis have to tell her, no, hold your composure. Don't lose. She says, okay, but what to do? She's singing so sweetly. Sthavar Jangama Mohila Sati Harailo Chandravali Ramati. What happens to Krishna? What do you think? Oh, his man, Braja Kishore, Sri Krishna's man, Mathiya, gets churned. There's Samudra Manthan. This is Braja Kishore Man Manthan. This is the churning of the mind of Braja Kishore Sri Krishna. Mathiya Braja Kishore Mana Antarita hoy Radha takona Mathiya Braja Antarita hoy. Quite interesting. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying Radharani's singing is churning Krishna's mind, but Krishna's dancing with other gopis. Antarita hoy Radha takhon. Radharani says, I don't want to dance here. Antarit, antardhyan. I am leaving this place. I am not going to dance here anymore. I am leaving. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bhakati Vinoda Paramada Gane. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, now I am anticipating trouble for Krishna. There is going to be big trouble. Why? Rasa Bhangalo Aj Radha Bihane. Because Radharani, instead of doing Vihar, she has Ras Bhanga. Ras Bhanga Leela. She has given up the Ras and she has gone away. So now Krishna has to go behind her, giving up his singing and dancing, and he has to learn the art of crying. Mathiya Braja Kishore Mana Antarita hoy Radha thakana Mati. Bhakati Vinoda Paramadagane. Anticipating trouble for Krishna. Bhakati Vinoda Paramadagane Rasa Bhangalo Radha Bihane. Bhakati Vinoda. You may say, well, the song is done, but the stories have finished. Isn't it? The stories have finished because Radharani has left. And now there's going to be trouble, but there must be a part 2 to it. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written another song which completes this one. Ready? Shatakoti gopi madhava mana Rakhite narilo kori jatana Shatako. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna's thinking, oh, where is Radharani? So some gopi said, oh, she left. So then Krishna thought, oh, I must go. I must go to see where she is. But what happened? Shatakoti gopi, 100 crore gopis, Madhava man, Rakhite narilo korilo jatan. 100 crore gopis, they tried jatan, yatna kiye, prayatna. They put their hard work to tell Krishna, no worries, she will come back. But do you think Krishna's mind agreed to this proposal? Rakhite narilo. 100 crore gopis failed at the feet of Krishna as they were saying, don't worry, Radharani will be back. Madhava man, rakhite narilo korilo jatan. Although Shatakoti gopi, 100 crore gopis tried their best, the mind of Krishna was not pacified. They could not pacify. What did Krishna do? He started playing his flute. Venu gite dake radhika naam. Krishna started playing the Venu. And through the Venu, who was he calling? Radharani. Esho, Esho, Shri Radhe, please come back. Dake Sham. Daka in Bengali means to cry out, to call out. So Venu was also calling out Radharani's name, and Krishna was also calling out, Esho, Esho, Shri Radhe, please come back, please come back. And the 100 crore gopis are watching the glory of Srimati Radharani's love. Venu gite dake radhika naam. Esho, Esho, Shri Radhe, dake Sham. Esho, Esho, Shri Radhe. Shatakoti gopi madhava mana rakhite narilo kori jatana. Shatakoti gopi. What is Krishna doing? Venu gite dake radhika naam. Venu. Everyone, we have to help Krishna get Srimati Radharani. Venu gite dake radhika naam. Esho, Esho, Shri Radhe, dake Sham. Now the question remains, what happened to the Rasa Leela? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Bhangiya Shri Rasa Mandala tabe Radha Anveshane Chalaye jave. Bhangiya Shri Rasa. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, Raslila? What Raslila? Radharani left, Raslila also left with that. Bhangiya Shri Rasa Mandala Tabe. Krishna left the Rasalila. And where did he go? Radha Anveshane Chalayo Tabe. He went to search for Srimati Radharani. He didn't care about the 100 crore gopis. He didn't care about the announcements of the parrots on the dress theme and the dance form and fragrance. I don't care. What's the use of decorating the body when the soul has left? Apranasya iva dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. If the soul has left, you can decorate the body. But what's the use? But if the soul comes back, then the ornaments make sense. So if the body is Shamasundar and the soul in the Rasalila is Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani ki. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, don't worry about the ras. What happened to the ras? Bhangiya Shri Rasa Mandala tabe Radha Anveshane Chalaye jave. Bhangiya Shri Rasa. What is Krishna doing and how is he calling out to Radharani? Dekha diya Radhe rakho prana. Oh Radharani, please give me darshan, otherwise I will die. Just like you left the Rasalila and the Rasalila finished, In searching for you, my soul will leave my body and I will be finished. Please give me darshan, rakho ho pran. Please keep me alive. Boliya kande, kanane kan. Kan means Kanha, Shri Krishna. Kanane, in the forest. Kande, he is crying and calling out to Radharani. If not for Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what will we understand? Dekha diya Radhe, rakho prana. Dekha diya Radhe, rakho prana. Boliya kande, kanane kanha. देखा दिया राधे राखो प्राणा बोलिया कांदे कानने कान्हा शतकोटि गोपी माधव मना राखीते नारी लोकोरी जतना वेणु गीते डाके राधिका ना एशो एशो श्री राधे डाके श्याम एशो एशो श्री राधे भांगिया श्री रास मंडल तबे राधा अन्वेषणे चलो जवे ओ देखा दिया राधे राखो प्राणा राधे श्री राधे राखो प्राण राधे ओ राधे श्री राधे राखो प्राण बोलिया कांदे कानने कान्हा बोलिया कांदे कानने कान्हा बोलिया कांदे कानने कान्हा बोलिया कांदे कानने कान्हा बोलिया कांदे. As Krishna went to search for Srimati Radharani, Radharani was hiding. And she didn't know where Krishna is coming from. So she was hiding. And Krishna came from behind. Nirjana Kanane. There was nobody because all the gopis were searching in different directions. But Krishna went searching. And Nirjana Kanana, in the forest of nobody. There's nobody. Radharani was hiding. Radhar Dhari. As she had her hand behind, Krishna held her hand. Said, what are you doing? Miliya prana judaye Hari. Hari said, oh, now it seems my life has come back to me. Then Krishna said, Radharani said, oh, you're not busy dancing in the Rasa Leela? I thought you would probably be singing and dancing and playing your flute for 100 crore gopis, Shatakoti. What did Krishna say? Bole tuhu vina kahar ras? Tu lagi mor brajervas. Without you, what Rasalila are you talking about? Actually, I live in Vrindavan just for you. Tuhu lagi, just for you, more brajabas. I live in Vrindavan just for you. Nirjana kanane radhare dhari miliya parana judaye hari. Nirjana kanane Were you not busy dancing Rasa Leela? Bole tu huvi na kahar rasa, bole tu huvi. Bole tu huvi na kahar rasa. What rasa are you talking about, Radharani? Actually, tuhu lagi mora brajer vasa, tuhu lagi mora brajava. Actually, I live in Vrindavan for whom? Only for you. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, such Radharani, who is the heartbeat of Vrindavan, who is the best among all gopis. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, O Radhike, at your lotus feet I have only one prayer. Ehe no Radhika charan tale bhakti vinoda kandiya bole. Ehe no Radhika Ehe no Radhika charan tale bhakti vinoda kandiya bole. Ehe no Radhika. After getting Radha and Krishna together, and after Krishna pacified Srimati Radharani, saying, what to speak of Ras? I actually have Vas in, not Ras, but Vas in Braj, only for you. And Radharani smiled. And at that point, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I hold the feet of that Radha at this point. Why? Because when a person is very happy, he likes to give gifts. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Hey Radhike, now that you're happy, I want to ask you something. Tuva gana maje amara gani kinkari kariya rakho apani. Kinkari kariya, please make me your feminine maidservant, Dasi. Rakho apani, always keep me close to you. And when you count your group, Gani, Gana Maje, when you count, this is my team, this is my team, this is my team. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I'll wait for the day when I'll stand in front of you and you will say, you're my team. Tuva Gana Maje, in the counting of your Gana, Amara Gani, please count me. And Kinkari Kariya, make me your Manjari, maidservant, and Rakho Apani. Always keep me close to you, hey Radhike. When you leave the Rasa Leela, I'll also come with you. And only after Krishna apologizes to you, I will look at him. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writing. Ehe no Radhika charan tale bhakti vinoda kandiya bole. Tuva gana maje amara gani kinkari kariya rakho apane. Kinkari kariya. Ready to sing the whole song now with the meaning? Let's go for it. Shatakoti gopi madhava mana rakhite narilo kori jatana. Shatakoti gopi Venu gite dake Radhika naam Venu gite dake Esho esho Shri Radhe dake sham Esho esho Shri Radhe भंगिया श्रीरास मंडल तबे राधा अन्वेषणे चलो जबे भंगिया श्रीरास. And what is Krishna calling out? देखा दिया राधे राखो प्राण. राधे श्री राधे राखो प्राण. राधे बोलिया कांदे कानन कान्हा. Now, निर्जन कानने राधर धरी मिलिया प्राण जुड़ाए हरी. निर्जन बोले तू विना कहाँ रस तू हो लगी मोर ब्रजेरवास. हे नो राधिका चरण तले भक्ति विनोद कांदिया बोले. हे नो राधिका तू अगण माजे हमारे गणी. ओ तू अगण माजे हमारे गणी. ओ तू अगण माजे हमारे गणी. तू अगण किंकरी करिया राखो अपने. किंकरी करिया किंकरी करिया राखो अपने. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल. How wonderful. How many of you relish these songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur? If not for Thakur Bhaktivinoda, how would these songs manifest? The most esoteric part, the Ras Panchadhyaya of the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, which is all in Sanskrit, we can't sing it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur puts it in simple Bengali, in such a way that we can sing and very easily prove that Radharani is the queen of all queens. See, when we have to prove that the gopis are the topmost and Radharani is the queen, how much philosophical presentation you have to give. One PowerPoint after another, one verse after another, one story after another. All that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has to do is sing. And we, following Bhaktivinoda Thakur's model, we sang 2 songs. Vraja Bipine, Yamuna Tire. It started from there, building the arena for the Rasa Leela, and then Radharani leaving, and then finally the divine couple meeting. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, now that both of you are happy, give me a gift. Always keep me at your lotus feet. How sweet. So this theme of Radha's love, you can see in every stanza of Kunj Bihari Ashtakam. If you take every stanza, you'll have to come back to this point again and again. So I just clubbed Radha Tattva from the whole Kunj Vihari Ashtakam. And the simplest way we can understand that, and the authentic way we can understand, is through the songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Actually, we are saying Radharani is the queen of all the queens and all the gopis. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami in Manashiksha has written something fabulous. Are you ready to sing another song now? But this song is only one verse. Ready? Please repeat. Ratim Gauri Leela Apitapati Saun Darya Kiranai Shachi Lakshmi Satya Paribhavati So Bhagya Balanai Vashikarais Chandra Valimukha Navina Vrajasati Kshipatyaradhyatam Haridaitaradham Bhajamana. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says, hey mana, O mind, bhaja, tu bhajan kar, worship. Whom? Hari Daita, she who is dearest to Hari, and her name is Radha. And she is higher than whom? Look at the chronology of Raghunath Das Goswami's presentation. He says Rati, first name. Who is Rati? Rati Manjari, of course, is the name of a maidservant of Radharani. But Rati is the wife of a demigod. Kamadev, that is correct. Cupid. Cupid, he attracts everyone. Right? In this world, everyone gets attracted once, twice, multiple times even through Cupid's arrows. But Cupid gets attracted to Rati. It is described, Rati is super beautiful. She is the queen, the wife of Cupid. And Raghunath Das Goswami Pad says, when that Rati hears the glories of Radha, she faints. One time it is described in Rati's court, there was loud glorification of the bodily beauty of Radharani. And Rati, the wife of Cupid, Kamdev, she fainted because her senses had an upper limit and they couldn't hear something that beautiful. Those were beyond her sensory perception. Raghunath Das Goswami says, but Rati is still material. Let's go ahead. Iha bahya age kaho ar. This is material, let's go ahead. He says, greater than Rati is Shachi. Shachi. Now this Shachi is not the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shachi is the wife of Indra. Raghunath Das Goswami Pad says, Shachi, the wife of Indra, wears jasmine earrings. And she has jasmine decorations throughout. Jasmine bud decorations on her ear. Who is this, by the way? This is Shachi, and she's the wife of? It is described once in the courtroom of Indra, where Shachi was sitting. The wife of Indra was sitting next to the king. Because, after all, we are the king and queen of heaven. Radharani's glories, especially her purity, was being described. And it's described at that time the jasmine flowers on her ear, which were all like an earring on the ear of Shachi, the wife of Indra, they all fell from their position in disbelief. And our acharyas describe why? Because Shachi herself finds it very difficult to keep her husband under her control. Because he's Indra. And Indra is always, around Ramba, Urvashi and Menaka. So being the king of heaven, it's very difficult for him and super difficult for Shachi to always keep Indra's attention. Nahi, tu mujhe dekho. You just look at me. It's very difficult for her to do that. But when she heard that Radharani can control Krishna, although Krishna has Shata Koti Gopi, by her purity, jasmine buds are white because they think they are very pure. the jasmine birds on the ear of Shachi, who's also very pure, they could not believe that there can be something as fragrant and pure as the jasmine fragrant heart of Sri Radha. So the jasmine flowers, it's described, they felt dizzy in disbelief of Radha's purity. And they all fell from position. And that's how the earring fell. Then Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says, even higher than that is Savitri. And who is Savitri? That's the wife of Brahmaji. And it's described one time, there was Katha of Radharani's glories in Brahmalok. And Brahma's 4 heads started spinning. You know, Brahmaji is a quad-core processor. He has 4 he works 4x. 4 times faster. This I7 and I10 doesn't work for Brahmaji. 4th generation hai ki 7th generation hai ki I3 hai ki I5 hai ki I7 and all this doesn't. He is transcendental quad-core processor. All 4 heads of Brahma started spinning, hearing the glories of Radharani. And what happened? He only desired that may these 4 heads which are spinning now and have become completely stunned, may they eternally be stunned as mountains in Barsana. And Brahma's 4 heads became 4 hills in Barsana as Dangad, Mangad, Bhangad and Vilasgad. So that Sri Radha, right from her childhood, can always keep running up and down the hill, smearing the foot dust of her lotus feet on the head of Brahma, which keeps still spinning till this very day. How sweet. Our acharyas describe Radharani in her childhood. Actually, this is written by Rupa Goswami. He says that one day, are you ready to listen to this? Sweet. Very, very beautiful. Rupa Goswami writes that Radharani has Vaidagda Shakti, which means she's expert. How expert? It's described one time Radharani was dancing. And as she was dancing, she was throwing off different, like she had earrings, she had waist bells, and she has bracelets and ankle bells and sandalwood markings. And she was dancing and decorating the environment around. And when she finished the dance after the spin, it was so beautifully decorated, the environment around, that every lotus petal had a flower in the middle, landing exactly by Radharani's expertise even while spinning. Imagine you're spinning and dancing and you're still able to decorate the environment around with your own ornaments. And Brinda Devi came and she saw lotus petals around. They all had a specific rangoli-like formation. A big flower in the middle and 6 flowers around and 8 flowers around and 12 flowers around each lotus petal with different buds and different leaves. As she's dancing, she could decorate. I can't even do that sitting properly. She's doing that with the dance. So Brinda Devi said, how is this that our Swamini, our Brajeshwari, Brinda Devi writes, and Rupa Goswami comments, he says that, I still remember the day when she would play in the dust of Braja as a child, as the daughter of Kirtida Devi and Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And then as she grew up, Kirtida Devi would tie 2 ponies to Radharani. And it's described by Brinda Devi, those 2 ponies to baby Radha were like the ear of the calves. Why? Because the pony, as Radharani would walk, just like the calf has ears, which are like cups hanging. So Radharani's hair ponies would be like that, moving around, like the calf ears in innocence. And as she grew up further, it's described, there was the Karna Bhida Sanskar, which means the ear-piercing pastime of Radharani. The ear-piercing Leela. And when the ear was pierced, and they put nice sweet earrings for Radharani, it's described, she still had the ponies, by the way, and she was a little girl, and she stood in front of the mirror, and she was turning her face from end to end to see how her earrings were going back and forth. And still the ponies were also moving. And then it's described as she grew up further. There came a day when Kirtida Devi was making her hair into braid in the back. She said, hey Radhike, your hair has become so long. And Radharani, in complete pride, she put her hair ahead, which was so beautiful on the beautiful golden body of Sri Radha. And now that Radharani had learned the art of singing and dancing and expertly arranging the environment around while spinning, so swiftly. Brinda Devi said, how is it that all of this happened so quickly? That we went from the Balya Leela to the Pauganda Leela to the Kaishor Leela and the Nava Yauvan Leela of Srimati Radharani. This Srimati Radharani, Raghunath Das Goswami describes. When Brahma's wife Savitri heard the glories of Radha, what happened? Her hair stood on end in complete rapture as she heard the pastimes of Srimati Radharani. Now, Raghunath Das Goswami describes something further. But I'm going to pause for a break right now. And after the break, we will continue what Raghunath Das Goswami speaks in this chronological table of Rati, then Shachi, then Savitri. Now you have to keep guessing who's coming next, who's going to hear the glories of Sri Radha. We break for now and we'll have the next session at 1:30, I believe, right? So we'll have Aarti at 12 and then Prasadam, and then 1:30 we have our fourth session of the continued glories of Srimati Radharani in the Kunj Vihari Ashtakam, and we'll start off with the chronology of Radha's glories. Gaura Premanande Shri Shri Radha Kunj Vihari ki, Shashi Nandan Gaura Hari ki, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. Gaura Premanande. The parrot is back.
So I'm going to make an announcement that I don't think Amarendra Prabhu has ever heard me make. Saying we have another 30 minutes actually, because devotees were so enthralled by the bhajan, we forgot to make the offering for Radha Kunj Vihari. So the offering has to go. so we have at least that's why I came out of breath. I came running because devotees are like, Prabhu's done. So we need another 20 minutes more,
Sure.
Prabhuji.
So we have two options. First, for about 5 minutes or so, 5-10 minutes or so, if there are any questions, comments that you want, reflections from the class, anything that you want to share, we can take. And then after that, we will sing more songs. I promise you. Yes, if there's a microphone that